Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friends and Music podcast. Today I'm sitting here with my good friend, Mac. Mac, thanks for doing this with me, man.
Absolutely. Before we get started,
Yeah.
I do need to outline some very important business.
Okay, perfect. Let's go.
Michael Menendez
Mhm.
is a bitch.
Okay.
Aaron Sakovich
Okay.
is a bitch.
Yeah.
Misha Mansour,
Mhm.
bitch made bitch.
Okay.
Jack Antonoff,
Yes.
a hoe. JJ from Buffalo Wild Wings in Cerritos, California,
Mhm.
bitch. And that's it.
Okay. Nothing about me.
No.
You didn't want to come on the show and
I
offend
mean,
me.
it's your show. I would hate to offend you right now in this moment.
Yeah. So I feel like with what you just did, I mean, I think I should just turn this over to you and just let you roll with it. Like, this is yours now.
Look, man, this is my opportunity to get these beefs started.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
I think both Aaron and Michael have been. We all reach a moment in our lives where we need to recognize just how old we are.
Yes.
And the women we talk to
Mhm.
cannot be more than 20 years younger than us anymore. Okay. These gentlemen
Mhm.
have not learned that lesson yet.
Okay.
I've been fighting this battle a long time.
Yeah.
They don't realize that we are crotchety old men.
Correct.
No longer can we stand to have 19-year-old women at our Halloween parties.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't do that anymore. I'm sorry, guys.
What about the other way around though? How old can they go?
Oh, dude, that's endless.
Okay.
Endless on the opposite side of that.
Because my experience with Mike is more on that end.
What, old women
Correct.
and men?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is totally fine
Okay.
because their frontal cortex is developed.
Mm-hmm.
They can make decisions for themselves. They
Yeah.
kind of lived a little bit of life.
Or a lot.
Or a lot.
Mm-hmm.
More than me, maybe.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say is that there's an epidemic of these delayed adolescence motherfuckers trying to go after these young women. And I'm just trying to put a fucking stop to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Specifically who?
Michael Menendez,
Okay.
Aaron Sakovich.
Mm-hmm.
Your run has come to an end. This is it.
Yeah. It's been said. Duly noted
That's it.
on the podcast.
I just want to make sure that's known by everybody.
Okay. And so that's all you came on the show for, correct?
That was like the
should
main.
We just wrap it up now?
We can wrap it up right now
Okay.
because there's nothing more important or top of mind than stopping these two predators.
So I feel really, really in an awkward place because, normally I like to say good things about the person, and you just came in strong and just laid down the law. So welcome to the Friends and Music podcast, lawmaker Mac. Just don't mess with him. He had his notes ready to go. I don't even know why you needed notes for that. You couldn't remember that?
I couldn't remember that. I can't remember most things.
Well, we're going to talk about how we met here in a minute, which I'm really looking forward to you reminding me that. But I want to say that you as a friend, you're a very supportive person. You're a good guy, even though you're the law. We don't mess with you. But we went out for dinner last week. We talked about doing this, and so since then I've thought about like what could I say about you, and I want to say that you're somebody that I look up to and I admire. You're somebody that you go out and get things done. If there's something that needs to happen and maybe there's not really a way to do it, you find a way to do it. And that's something that I've learned from you. I really appreciate that we can share our music knowledge and just kind of share our special interests together and just rant about random music. And you have some of the funniest stories I've ever heard. So I really look forward to you sharing them today with me.
After I said all that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I made the greatest first impression for any of the people who might listen to this.
Let me tell you a story about my best friend, Mac. Here we go.
No, but do you remember when we first met?
Oh, yeah, dude. I totally remember. We have our common friend, Mike. You came up to Rexburg, Idaho. And I'm just going to let you take it from there because you tell the story way better than I do.
I'm just relieved that you don't know either because I was in this moment of kind of panic on the drive over because I was thinking.
That's why you were late.
I don't remember how I met Blair. And so I immediately talked with God, aka Mike Menendez.
AKA.
He cleared it up for me because in 2015, you hosted a Halloween party.
Okay.
In some warehouse place in Rexburg.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was your party because Mike and I met Mike in like 2010 in Rexburg. He was my first roommate.
Mm-hmm.
And just out of nowhere, we started this really endearing, sweet, adorable tradition of,
I knew it was coming. Mm-hmm.
Of being Halloween party kittens.
Correct.
And now it's been maybe every 5 years since, you know, life has taken us in different directions. We find ourselves back together, and we have to don the makeup. I mean, literally just this last Halloween, I was up in Salt Lake, had the makeup on. You just can't avoid it. Anyway, so in 2015, that tradition came up to visit Mike, and he's like, "Hey, my buddy Blair is hosting this party. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "No,
absolutely not.
I am not a party guy."
Yeah.
And neither is Mike. But we're just like, well, we're not going to the party. We're going to man the door. And I'm like, I'm the law. I can do that.
You are the law.
I can do that. And so we decided, okay, that's what we're going to do for the evening. So anyway, we go to that, and there's no real story outside of that other than the realization that it was your party,
mm-hmm.
which then, you know, I think, now that I think of it, did I even meet you then?
I don't know. Is that our first meeting?
I think, well, I guess I don't really remember anything after that party. Did we meet after that party? I just know it was your party. So how is it possible that I didn't meet you at some point during that party?
Wouldn't you have stayed at our apartment?
I probably stayed at your apartment.
I remember the sexy cat costume. I remember Mike not stopping talking about, I'm a sexy cat. I'm going to be a sexy cat.
Yeah.
I'm a sexy cat.
Okay. Then we must have had some sort of interactions before and or after the party. I just have no recollection of it.
See, you're a supportive
friend. Can you add to that?
Well, yeah, let me tell you all the things that I don't remember about this.
Okay, because the next time I remember we, you know, having actual interaction was the Hycie show at the apartment complex.
Yeah, I remember that.
What's the name of the apartment complex?
It was called the Lofts.
The Lofts.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. I remember helping, like, didn't somebody have like a smoke machine?
Yeah, we had a smoke machine, a little light.
I remember that because I brought it in. It was my smoke machine.
I was going to say, where did that come from? You.
My smoke machine. Yeah. Okay. So that was my smoke machine. That was my, that's what I brought to, you know, I guess help.
Yeah.
My contribution to the show. And it was awesome because I think, was Hycie, you guys played last, I think. Yeah, it was like a Hycie show. It was your show.
Yeah.
But wasn't that also like one of the first shows of Carry On Kid?
I'm not sure if it was one of their first because I had seen them before. But yeah, probably early on for them for sure.
Before Mike was with them.
Before Mike was with them, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think Mike played with Carry On Kid yet at that show, if I remember correct.
Yeah.
I think it was just Hycie for him.
Right, and he played bass in Hycie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I bought my Hycie merch, and I wore that proudly.
Yeah.
I still have it. And yeah, I mean, flash forward, what's funny is that the next time I feel like you and I were together, oh wait, no, the Bathonaut show.
Yep.
You came down.
Yep.
Were you living there already, or did you just come down?
I was down for that, yeah. I was still in Idaho. I was down in Utah visiting.
Down for that.
Yep.
And then what's funny is then the next thing I remember is me, you, Brody at the garage burger place.
Yeah. Proper Burger.
Proper Burger.
Yeah. Salt Lake. Great burgers. Not sponsored yet.
Yet.
We will accept free burgers and fries in return for advertisement because they are delicious.
It was a good time. I mean, I remember it.
Yeah. You were there. I was there.
there.
I remember also we went to Payway, which I call Penis Weenus.
That's right.
We went there once. We spent a long time at Payway eating chicken, talking about random bands. Look at this, all
I
the
just
memories.
burped into my mouth,
Yeah.
and I really hope that didn't make it into
Oh,
the
I
mic.
heard it. Yeah, it's there. We're gonna leave that.
Sorry
That's
for
nice.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chicken at Payway, talking about random bands.
And that was before I moved here to Arizona, and here we are, both of us in Arizona.
Back in town. The boys are back.
Yeah. Guess who's back? Back. Who's back? Max. Back. 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 So you said flash forward. I want to flash back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the little dance party thing was just a work thing. It's kind of a mistake, but it worked out. It was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, so yeah,
I did my homework.
Yeah,
I listened to another one of the Friends in Music podcasts where you told the story about that.
Yeah,
about there
pretty
was
funny,
like a
huh?
competing
Yeah.
DJ. Was it another business or just competing DJ?
Just the DJ himself. He didn't like that. We didn't use him because he was the DJ. Apparently, there could only be one. But I brought the law Mac to say,
Well, I wasn't going to let him in.
This town is, in fact, big enough for two of us.
The only DJ I can remember from my days in Rexburg was DJ Preston Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never met him,
yeah.
but he was like the only DJ name I can remember.
And no beef with him. Only good things to say about him. He was not involved in that. I don't even think.
No.
He was small enough to have to deal with those little things that we were talking about. He actually was doing very well for himself.
I remember that, like, I do remember that party. It seemed like a well-attended.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So why was it a bad thing?
Just not something like that wasn't me, like my type of thing, right? But it was really cool because I got to learn new things from it.
Yeah.
And what was really nice was the ability to set something up from nothing and then roll that into Hycie of, okay, we're going to do a show at the Lofts apartment complex where it has no intention of being a concert venue or where you should have a show, but we learned how to branch out, kind of explore the DIY scene. And so like that was cool, making connections from that. So then I was, all right, how do we make connections to help, the band grow or to play shows? And so like that was nice, but just the whole dance thing. Like I didn't even step in there. Did you go in there during the dance party itself?
I mean, we were just hanging at the door. Like we didn't want to be outside when it was like cold outside. So we would just came in and hung out of the door. Like we were the biggest losers ever, but we that's our role. Like that's what we do best is being losers. And so we fit right into our own little world at the door. But I remember we saw what was going on in there. And
did it look fun?
It looked like people were having fun.
Good.
So it looked well run, and I can't say more positive things about the person who put it on.
Not me.
Not Blair, the other guy.
Yeah. It was, I mean, learned new things from it. It was cool. But that goes back to you being supportive. Mike said we're going, so you just went.
Yeah.
You ran the doors.
That's right.
Somebody that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I mean, that's the fun part about having friends and doing stuff is that's where like memories come from.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And as somebody who is definitely getting dementia, like early onset is already, I can already feel it, but I already struggle with remembering things. But there are these memories that stick out that are very vivid and that I look back on and I love. Because no doubt we've had plenty of other times together.
Yes.
It's just, I mean, look, we're having this conversation almost 10 years removed from graduating college, right?
Well, you did.
From me. Yeah. I'm older. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we're like, everyone's like just within that like a year apart.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like, by the time I left, that's when everybody's chapter with the Hycie, Carry On Kid, and like that all I saw from very limited perspective as I would come up to visit Mike, or I think I met Rob once when I went to go record with in Boise. I stayed with them in Nampa at the time, and I think that's the only time I've ever met Rob.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like I get these little slices of meeting people from that scene, and like, but I've never had more than maybe like random evenings worth of interaction with really anybody from that scene. And it's just funny because I am so close with Mike that it is interesting to be almost on like the flip side
Yeah.
right? Like I have this whole other history with Mike that I also don't share post leaving BYU Idaho with him. Like
Okay.
there's this a whole other era of like his life and experience in Idaho that I don't have.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to, you know, hear the stories from it, the people that have come from that. And, but I just see it through a very specific lens,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Well, forget this podcast and the outline that we had. Let's talk about Mike. How'd you meet Mike?
I just moved into Viking Village
Yeah.
and, 2000, it was like fall 2009.
Okay.
And, yeah, just literally, I think he was in a different apartment, and maybe I'm fucking this up, but he was in a different apartment. And I think he moved into our apartment. Like he switched or something.
Sounds like a Mike thing to do.
Sounds like a Mike thing to do. And I just remember him wearing his juicy, like Victoria's Secret, like white sweatpants.
Yeah.
And that image will never leave my head.
Yeah.
Because he just stands out wherever he goes. Just his personality, his just style.
Yes.
He just will, people gravitate towards him. And once he walked in the door, it was just instant, just like, oh, like all the music that you listen to, I love.
Yeah.
All and it wasn't very complex. It was just like, oh, let's eat Little Caesars every night.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like it literally went, that's as far as it went for us. It was just cool. You like minus the bear? I like minus the bear. Let's eat Little Caesars.
Yeah.
End of story. And that's kind of where it still is today. Like our whole like Thanksgiving tradition is based around not going home or visiting loved ones. It's being with each other and eating shitty food.
Yeah.
Like the worst food, not even making nice food for Thanksgiving, but just let's get some greasy ass cheap Little Caesars.
Yep.
And watch endless amounts of Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know, like our brains just shut off when we're together.
Yeah.
Like we enjoy that stupidity that we bring out of each other.
Yeah.
Like we just don't have to care about anything. And I think that just has what has carried that relationship on, because we can go years without saying a word to each other. And then just like a random text will come out of nowhere, or I'll just be in Utah and it's just like, oh, let's go get dinner. And it just doesn't feel like any time has passed.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, yeah. I met Mike, just this college roommate, and dude, everyone who's listening to this already knows who Mike is, understands how great of a person he is, and just what a like bridge he is in everyone's life.
Yeah.
Like he connects people. I'm talking with Blair right now because of Mike.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think he's very special for that. And not many people can effortlessly do what he does, you know, in social, because he will also argue against that. Like he's not a social person, or he's so introverted and he's just like awkward. He doesn't understand how lovable he is.
Yeah.
Like his greatest attribute is just how he brings joy into your life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know quite what he would truly say. I know what he would say, like in response to this, of just, you know, he'd be bashful or just like, oh, whatever. But I really am curious to know what he thinks about that, of all the connections he's made throughout his life.
Yeah.
How he views himself, because it doesn't even matter about any one person. He can go anywhere. He can be in Nampa, fucking Idaho, in just a random house and create a music scene through that house.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he can just pull people into the most strangest corners of the earth.
Yeah.
Because people love him.
Yeah.
And anyway, I just have, you know, nothing but respect and love for the guy. And, you know, I care for him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we should do is take what you just said about him and put that as his intro for his episode, because you said it way better than I could about his talents and attributes. I want to add to that by saying that, yeah, it's totally true. Like he started hosting bands at his house, either to play a show or just sleep over. And so like, can't tell you how many people I've met that are like, oh yeah, I've stayed at Mike's house. One was down here the first time I lived down here when I was staying in Mesa. Mike and Tyler came down for a concert. So we're at the concert, and he introduced me to Trevor, the vocalist of Sundressed. Like, and so he's like, "Yeah, I stayed at Mike's house." So like, he's like, "How do you know?" I'm like, "Oh, I used to be Mike's roommate, you know." So anywhere he goes, like that. This was Arizona, right? Then that was from Idaho, and I know he knows people, and
He leaves lasting impressions on people,
yeah,
too. Like,
for sure.
people, you meet him once or twice, you'll
Yeah.
never forget him.
Yeah, and it's not which Mike. Like Mike's the most common name, but it's never which Mike. It's just Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you know, God bless. I hope you, whatever lies beyond this life, he gets the best version of it.
Okay, well, what is it? I mean, make up your mind. You came in hard with Mike, and now we're being all lovey-dovey, sappy with Mike. So what?
I mean, life is dynamic. It's not that we're incapable of being criminals.
Yeah.
I think he has good in his heart.
But
as we are all imperfect, you know, he kind of lets his eye wander a little bit. Just saying.
All right.
Got to call him on it.
Yeah.
What? He's a saint?
You're the law.
He's not a saint.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
No.
He's a good guy, but even good guys have temptation. And what?
Just, I didn't see this one coming. You could have prepared me, but I like that you didn't. This has been fun.
Yeah.
To continue to go back, talked about the dance party now. You said that you came to the Hycie show, which I keep plugging this band that doesn't even exist anymore. But you said you bought merch. But what you told me is that you wore that shirt in a music documentary.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that, please.
It was just I was in a cover band. I can't believe how long ago it is already, but from 2017, 2018, just for fun, me and a few friends from Salt Lake, they asked me to join this cover band. And I have never been one for covers.
Okay.
But it's also something I'd never done at that point in time. And I was like, this actually seems like a ton of fun. Just playing these songs that we love. Like, it's all, you know, just 90s alternative, you know, maybe some mid 2000s bangers, but
yeah,
it was like, I viewed it as such like a great opportunity to not just grow my skill set, but also how to perform for a very long time. Like, our sets were on average like 3+ hours, right?
Dang, okay.
Because we were just a house band, right?
Yeah.
We just play maybe just continuous set with like every 45 minutes, then 15-minute break, you know, come back. But and so I was like, okay, there's a lot that I can learn from this. But we decided that, it would be, you know, fun to kind of document this time in our lives. So the producer at the time,
Roger.
We'll call him Roger. He wanted it. We would practice in his studio in like Murray, Utah, and you know, he was all about, because it was kind of his project, and he wanted to record everything. He wanted to really use this as like a promotional project for his studio, you know, gain clientele and things. And so we started doing like little clips, you know, talking about the band, talking about, you know, just interview type stuff. So, and that's all it was. But in the documentary, I had to rep Hycie,
Nice.
and I was very proud of that. I am still proud of that.
Yeah.
I love having all of my friends' merch. I have in some suitcase I have to unearth from the garage somewhere is just a bundle of just all my friends' bands.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah, and so I need to find it just so I can, you know, frame it or do something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that you said was the Bathonaut show that we saw each other at, that you were playing at. You gave me tickets, which I think is fun. Like, it's going to not make sense to anybody else. But last week we were trying to talk about the items that we traded of, you know, either music gear or other gear. And then somehow I ended up with 2 Bathonaut tickets. And so I went and saw you play. I never got to the bottom of what we traded. I went back on Instagram. I went back on Facebook Messenger. I mean, that's such a long time ago that there's no text evidence of that. So
there was a PSP involved.
Yeah,
I can be very confident in that,
yes,
because I do recall that PSP living in a box somewhere for a number of years since that show. So I feel that PSP was part of the deal. which also baffles me because I wasn't really much of a gamer
But you
anyway.
wanted it.
But I think I was just like, oh, I've never had a PSP. Maybe it'll be something to do.
Yeah.
And, never found me, but I know it was part of it. And I double down that I can guarantee it was not
Ooh,
double bass pedals,
you're going to
because
guarantee that.
I can guarantee it because I literally play on those pedals.
So you stole them back from me.
I did
We
not.
traded the PSP for double bass pedals, and then you just stole them back.
Maybe.
You're sick.
I'm a little bit fucked up. I don't like keeping my word with anybody, and I'll
That's
do
fair.
what I can to manipulate them into thinking they're getting a good deal, just so I can rip it out from under them.
I got 2 tickets to the Bathonaut show, though. That's what I want to talk about.
I offered you memories.
Yeah. So
in return,
you have a lot of bands and music experiences that I would like for you to share, but
sure.
that I think was the only time I got to see you perform was with Bathonaut.
Yeah.
Will you talk about that show?
What's funny is that was the Complex show, right? Yeah. So, the Bathonaut was a project that I started because I was convinced after hearing, there's a band called Periphery, and they had dropped this album, P2, in 2012. And I was never really that much of a prog or even like a gent fan, but the guitar work and the production of that album in particular completely changed the course of what I wanted to do with my life. I was so enthralled with it that I had to learn more about it, and that got me into the world of how to self-produce, how to, set your own little bedroom studio up. And at the time, I was primarily a drummer, but I was like, no one else in Rexburg is going to want to do a project like this. At least I assumed that, right? So that further enforced me to, just buckle down, buy a guitar, figure it out, and get something going. Like, I was just like, by the end of this year, I want to have a record done, right? It might sound like shit, but that's the goal. So anyway, that became the Bathonaut. And I'm a very conceptual person. Even if the concept is shit, it's just like, I need to write about something.
Okay.
It just gives me direction. It gives me something to, like a little bit of like an outline to go on. And it was just this dorky concept album and band that was just really, just imagine like your first record you've ever recorded, just as amateur as it gets as far as like execution, but it was enough. I feel it was different enough in the community that it stood out to people I would show it to, of like, do you want to join this? Do you want to play in this?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like another band from Rexburg. It was just, and if it did to anybody, it was just like, okay, this is definitely one of a kind in this town. So I kind of utilized that novelty of the project to then find other band members, and subsequently also find one of my main musical collaborators over the last decade plus in Randy Slaw. So that project really is like the root of a lot of what we may or may not talk about.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give that kind of a preface before this of what the Bathonaut was and why it doesn't exist anymore, but what that was. So, we play around Idaho. We played, pretty much in every town in Idaho, down through Pocatello and back to Rexburg. And then I graduated and decided, great, now all my band is in Rexburg. I'm in Utah. I really want to keep this going. This has to keep moving. And I can't allow the fact that people live 3 hours away be a difference maker.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many more dire situations in the world that bands go through that
sure.
I'm like, guys, if you want this to happen, I need you to come down for shows.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. Or we're going to replace. Like, that's just how it is. And it wasn't that the music was that serious. It was just, I really wanted to, like, I want to do this thing. Right. Yeah. And so, I started booking shows, and it was a lot of fun because I started playing and opening for a lot of bands that I really respected and really gravitated towards, after maybe like 5 to 6 year plus of writing that music. I got into that world of like progressive, metal and gent and things like that. And that particular show that you came to, the Bathonaut opened for Tesseract.
Yeah.
And that's meaningful because that show was the start of my next music journey.
Okay.
The fact that we opened for Tesseract led me to interact not only with Randy, but with Keshev and Dan, which then led to me joining White Moth Black Butterfly.
Yeah.
So that show in particular, it was, I think, maybe the final. It ended up being the last show of the Bathonaut, but it also was a very crucial show as far as my journey forward in my own music career. So
Yeah.
I looked on Instagram because I was like, I know there's one image of that show that exists.
Yeah.
And it's your picture.
Mine, yeah.
It's your picture
Yeah.
of me up there. And what's funny is I have like no decent, like high quality video or photographs of me performing music at any time in my life.
Okay.
Even when we've had like quote unquote professional photographers,
Yeah.
any picture that I'm featured in
Uh-huh.
is like 140p. Like I'm like made of pixels.
Yeah.
It's like such like low quality, and I kind of have become very enamored, and like I love that about it, just because I don't know. I just think it's interesting that a lot of my live music history has been documented in a modern century at very low quality. So I just find that very, very funny. But yeah, I remember you came out to that show. I had some other friends at that show, and at the time we didn't have a vocalist, and so we were playing this material just instrumentally, and that's not unheard of in that scene. There's a lot of instrumental bands. However, the music that I wrote was written for, like, it was written with the intention to have vocals on it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all that interesting, like the instrumental parts were not really composed to stand on their own.
Yeah.
It needed a vocalist. Which, again, I guess we're just going on the history of Bathonaut right now, but that show also led to us finding a vocalist, because there was this guy, Austin Bentley, in the crowd who DM'd us and was just like, oh yeah, like, you guys need a vocalist, and checked him out. Austin, for like the style we were going for, perfect. Like, this dude is insanely talented. He comes from more of like a power metal background, but his vocals, his just design, he has a very deep conceptual mind. And I was like, this is ideal for what we're trying to do. Anyway, our collaboration ended up introducing me to Jonathan Ramanujam, who since then has been a lifelong friend as well as collaborator. The dude is an insane videographer. He's got such a great eye and knows how to use his equipment. And he's filmed so much for me over the years.
Yeah.
And all of these connections really formed from just that one show.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And so anyway, yeah, that's what that show was. And it's funny to think that now that project is completely gone.
Yeah.
But that was such a critical decision in my life musically, to even start that band, to push it forward, and just not allow certain limitations to stop it, because there was a lot of like opinion of, we can't play live because we don't have our vocalist yet.
Yeah.
We can't like, we played shows without drums. Like, we would just, this was like 2012, 2013, when that was like sampling and backtracks, at least on like a local level, were a very new thing. Like, it wasn't like the scene was well aware of it, but if you could do that live on a local level, it kind of stood out. Like, people were like, oh, what, I don't quite understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
But we took it to the extreme, because I'm like, I don't fucking care about what people may, or I almost feel like the more awkward looking the set, the more memorable we're going to be at this stage. So if we can play, like, I'll just show up with my my amplifier. If our bassist can show up, great. If you can't, fuck it. Like, I'll just backtrack him and we'll just play the show. And I remember playing this bar in Pocatello where it was just me and our other guitarist, and we just backtracked the drums, the everything else, the entire everything else, just backtracked it all. And that, again, it was just a random bar. There was like nobody there.
Yeah.
But there was like 2 other people in the band who were like, we can't play this because we're not going to be there. And I'm like, dude, then you're not going to be there. Like, that's not the problem of the band. I'm sorry. I find excuses to not do things the most energy draining.
For sure.
Like, I don't care how slapped together it might look.
Yeah.
We're not missing it. Yeah. Like, someone's going to show up. We're going to do this. And I kind of allowed that to inform a lot of like everything I pursue in life is just show up, just do it. It might not be what you imagine, but every opportunity I've ever gotten is through that mindset because you were there.
Yeah.
And people will appreciate that more than, oh, yeah, we were going to do this, but so-and-so's not going to be there. And it's like, why does that have to hold up everything?
For sure.
You know? So yeah, it was just a very informative aspect of how I pursue music and pursue really most things in my life came from how I handled that project.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's kind of the point I was trying to make with what I've learned and taken from you is people will say like, oh, you can't do this or you shouldn't or whatever, but you just find a way to move forward and accomplish what you set out to accomplish.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm glad that you recognize that about yourself, that, you're aware that you do that. Cause that's something big that I've learned from you.
Dude, you got to live in silliness. Like, honestly, that's like the way to operate is being unexpected. And even if it's like maybe in your mind, it's perceiving yourself at performing at a lower level, or man, maybe it would be better just to not involve myself because of something else going on in my mind. It's like, dude, I don't remember half of the things I've ever done, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember any of like the things that maybe I would fear that, like even that show, we were still playing instrumental at that point. We hadn't practiced in forever. It's just like, come down. I just trust you guys to learn your shit and we'll just do it. That show might have sounded awful or it could have sounded decent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about that. I just know that's what we did. Yeah. And that's the most important thing to me. Because people, like, I feel like if I live my life that I live or die by everything I do, I'm just like trying to set up obstacles for myself to trip over or reasons to stop. And it's like, you gotta let things be terrible. You gotta let things be misconstrued or misunderstood or, just not the way that you imagined. Because sometimes things end up worse or better than you ever can. I guess here I am rambling. You can't control everything, but you can put yourself in any situation that you want to be in.
Yeah.
You can opt out, and that's safe, that's fine. But allow those things to happen to you, because I swear that's where the opportunity lies. That's just where it is. It's where it exists.
Yeah.
Just look fucking stupid.
I do a good job of that.
That's what you got to do. Yeah. I swear to God. And it's a tough thing. Like, I definitely have an ego about myself. I definitely don't like myself to look, silly or look dumb. I'm a human. I get that.
Yeah.
But that's also something that I found a weakness in myself. I am kind of so egotistical that putting myself in positions where I'm going to fail is good for me.
Yeah.
Like, it challenges myself to be like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you're not that guy. You know what I mean? That kind of energy. Oh man, I just had the biggest fuck up just thinking of this. I was at NAMM just this last January, and I have been like, I've produced and been with people who I've idolized, numerous times at this point.
Yeah.
But there is also a certain role that you play in those environments. So I'm primarily a producer, or arranger or songwriter, but I'm not necessarily a guitarist,
Okay.
right? Like I can get around on a guitar, but I'm not like a guitarist. And I specify that because when you're around guitarists, oh my God, you really realize like the levels to this are so it's almost like just seeing like a cheetah in the wild, just how effortless and with great speed and agility
Yeah.
these people can just fuck around on a guitar. And anyway, I'm at NAMM and I'm in this circle of people who I highly respect and have like some of which played a huge monumental role in my even just being there. Like my journey in music was stoked by the things that these people had done. Here I am, I find myself in this guitar circle of these people and we're checking out this new amplifier from it was like a signature amp of this person.
Yeah. You're not going to
And
tell us who you're talking about? You can avoid that?
I I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know at this point. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll cave a little bit later.
I'm going to say he's a big name.
Decent. Like if you're in the guitar world, you
Yeah.
probably know who this is.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was his amp and I'll give some clues. It's a PV amp and it's a new PV amp.
I like this. People can figure it out themselves.
People can
I
kind
like
of
this.
figure it
Yeah.
out. And it's not for his sake. It's really because
It's the story.
I'm so embarrassed. Like here I am, like right now, just telling you about a time where I was so foolishly nervous.
Yeah.
So it's going around the circle, like everyone's checking it out. And the thing with me to a fault is that I won't say no. Like
Okay.
if like seriously,
And that's
like
not bad though.
I know, but like sometimes you might want to preserve any sort of like mystery about yourself
Yeah.
or like, you know, the elusiveness of being the music producer, you know,
Yeah.
like what are you actually good at versus being a jack of all trades, right? Being in a circle like this, there's kind of an expectation that, you know, you can fuck around on a guitar.
So
Like
you can't say no. You watch the Yes Man. You live by that principle. This is
But that's the thing is like I'm seeing this guitar being
yeah.
exchanged and I know it's going to come to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like I'm trying to think when it comes to me, I'm not going to say no.
I can't.
I can't allow myself to say no because
Jim Carrey won't let you.
Jim Carrey won't let me, and I have to do what I got to do. But I've never felt like this exposed, and so
I wish I was here for this.
dude, it was my body was out of control. So when it got to me, you know, I'm playing it off, I'm masking it of just like, oh yeah, my body is shaking. Like physically shaking, and I've never experienced that level of like uncontrol of my body. And I'm like, I don't think I got paralyzed from the neck down, right? I can't do anything. I am not even playing the guitar at all. Like I'm just trying to hold it, and I am embarrassed out of my mind. I feel I'm so foolish for even putting myself in this, to have this chance to put myself out there like that. Why would I do that? And it doesn't end well, right? Because it's not like, oh, you know, then I said a prayer and Heavenly Father gave me the strength to persevere. It wasn't that. It was just, oh shit, and hand the guitar off. Cause I'm just like,
before I drop it, someone
fuck.
take this.
It was so, that was mortifying. It was just very embarrassing. And to everyone else's credit, like, cause they saw, like, there was something being exercised within me in that moment. And people were like, all right, this guy's having problems. And I was just like, God damn it. And, but they were very, you know, gracious and not, you know, making a deal out of it. But it's those moments where I'm like, I wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah.
I would still put myself in that situation. And the only thing is like, what I can learn from that is like, I don't have to, there is like some wisdom in not putting yourself out there all the time. Like you can, you know, be choosy a little bit And that's what I'm learning too. Cause I think with that attitude of like, oh, fuck it. If it's scuffed, it's scuffed. There is wisdom in that. But
Yeah.
on the opposite side, there's also just maybe, pump the brakes a little bit. Like take some notes about what your body's feeling.
Yeah.
And allow that moment to pass. Um, Instead of just forcing yourself into a situation where you just collapse
Yeah.
for no reason, because it was such like a moment that really could have just floated by.
Yeah.
It was not like a big meaningful like, this is my time, type of moment. It was just, oh, I'm just here, everyone's casually playing the guitar, but I'm so fucked up in my head about like I'm by of these people, I
Yeah.
really and I just flare up, and it was just, man, that was proper embarrassment. um and so what the fuck are we talking about?
You know what is great though about this is you didn't have to share this story, and I appreciate that you did. Thank
I
you.
think I was trying to share that because I kind of went off on this tangent about like, oh, don't let anything stop you in life, and like,
Yeah.
just do it, man. Like,
Yeah.
live in the moment.
Well, you
bro.
were talking about Bathonaut and how you didn't say no to shows. You found a way
Right.
to make it happen.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to counteract that
Yeah.
with a personal, because I think I just don't want that to come off like, oh man, like even if you're not prepared, just just
Yeah.
go do shit.
Yeah.
There is a give and take to that. I just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's very easy to come off very preachy about
Yeah.
that, or just sound like, oh yeah, man, just
Well, it's a good example. Makes me think of, because there was a show that we said no to, unfortunately, because somebody couldn't be there. And so should we have done what you did? Should we have done a backing track? Should we have tried to do it without him and see how it went? And so there's the, yes, we could have done it, which for me, it's one of the big regrets of being in that band, was that we didn't do it. And so that stinks to have that regret. But at the same time, like, where do you draw the line of putting out a good product?
right.
So like, yes, you can say yes to the show and do it, but which is good. Like saying yes is always a good thing, like finding ways to make things happen. But where's the give and take, I guess.
Yeah, there's a line, like you said. I mean, that whole thing is, I mean, it's universal,
Mhm.
right? I mean, we were talking at dinner about balance and what that means, where you draw the line.
Yeah.
Everything, it comes down to moderation, and it's such a lame, like just cliche,
Yeah.
approach it with moderation, but it's unavoidable. It is the truth.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could say is that it's a lot easier to say no. To me, it is far more easy to find a way out than it is to commit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big difference in how I approach, future projects, or, anything, is that I can talk myself out of anything.
Yeah, we all can.
Yeah, right. Like I can just walk away. It's easy. I can find an excuse. Oh, I've never done that genre before, or I've never played in this, or I've never we're the wrong style of band for the show.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, those are all reasons, and they might be right. Maybe you don't gain anything by playing that show, but it's more just, if I'm in control of that, I actually can reason with myself and say, I said no, versus I'm uncomfortable with this, so I'm going to back out.
Yeah.
That's where I think, for me, that line kind of becomes a little bit more clear, because I get to say, like, for sure, I'm backing out because of this reason.
Yeah.
That is why I'm not doing it, versus I don't really know what's going on, or I don't have an answer, so I'm going to just, let it pass by, or I'm just going to walk away. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to illustrate, in my own world, there is like that give and take of,
For sure.
trying to show up, be present, don't let things distract you, versus, oh, maybe I should have let that moment pass instead of raising my hand.
But I'm glad you did it, because it makes for a good story, and I wish I was there to watch you tremble.
Oh man. Yeah. But live and learn.
The thing that, before you brought up that story, that I think is really fascinating, is being at the Bathonaut show. Just, I mean, being a friend and being a fan, right? Like, I went there to support you. I hadn't seen Bathonaut yet, so it's fun to just be there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you played with a bigger band at the time. You played in a pretty big venue, so like that was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, and it was fun just to be part of. But listening to the connections that were made and like what's branched out from that show is really cool to hear and hear. Like that's where it started. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you've been part of some really cool projects. I mean, you brought up Randy. You guys are
Oh
like
yeah.
the two most famous people that I know. Like your name's on really cool big projects.
Dude, like the funniest things to me is that like it okay, we've all experienced Rexburg, Idaho, right?
If you haven't, you can just keep it that way.
You
You're not
don't
missing much.
you're not missing much, but there is like I mean, there is a music scene there that you don't necessarily know exists.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like there are people who don't necessarily participate in the
Yeah.
music scene, like they get up on stage or whatever.
Yeah.
But there are people who are passionate about music there
Yeah.
that you can find, and maybe your reaching out to them is what brings them out onto the stage.
Yeah.
Like I never got everyone I ever played with, from that era, I had to find because they were not currently either playing with a band or whatever. I just searched on, like, at the time there was this Facebook group called Musicians in Rexburg.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the hub for anybody who was trying to do anything. But even from that, I would go into people's like friend groups,
Yeah.
like just, okay, they're in the Musicians and Friends. So I'd go to their profile and then look at their friend list and just find anybody. And for me at the time, writing Bathonaut material, I'm like, who is going to want to play nerdy, proggy bullshit, right? And I came across this profile of this dude with a 7-string guitar in his profile picture. And I'm like, that's got to be,
Yeah, that's the guy.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
Turns out to be Randy.
Okay.
And at the time,
that wasn't the guy.
That wasn't the fucking guy.
You made a mistake.
I made a fucking mistake. But yeah, I mean, it was just like completely random. Rexburg, Idaho. Who would ever think people would give a fuck about this genre? Turns out, Randy did strings on the P2 album that started my musical journey.
Yeah.
Right? He did all the orchestra for that album.
And you guys are both in this tiny little town.
We're both in fucking
insane.
Rexburg, and we connect on such a very niche band at the time that it was really just mind-blowing of how well we connected basically on everything musically. And at the time, he was further along on his journey, like to become a producer and stuff like that. And it was like the perfect time in my life to meet someone like that, because I, literally maybe 6 months before meeting him, had just downloaded, Ableton on my computer, barely bought a guitar, and I was just trying to dive into this world. Yeah. And so meeting him at that time, it was really eye-opening to me of just, okay, he's still learning a lot. Like he's putting it all together himself. Like he's figuring out how to operate and kind of navigate this, this space of doing remote work for bigger bands.
Yeah.
And being with him at the time, being able to either help him out on albums or things like that, helped school me up a lot in, how to really approach any of these types of projects or approach these artists to gain clientele.
Yeah.
And what's funny to me is like none of that had anything to do with why I was in Rexburg. You know what I mean? Like the whole point of being in that godforsaken town is for school.
Yeah.
For most people who end up there. For me, it was just a waiting pad. It was just like purgatory. I was just there because I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do with my life.
Yeah. And
so it was just funny that you can find people who are interested in what you're interested in anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the biggest point I want to get across with this is like, if you feel like you're in bumfuck wherever, United States or fucking Slovenia, wherever you find yourself, there are people that love what you love, are interested in what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You might have to put in a little legwork. You got to find them.
Creep on
people's Facebooks.
Find their pictures.
please stalk them, because that's how you're going to find them. I swear to God. But, you know, and things have changed since then, but it's like, I feel like a lot of my earlier like perspective on music, like the first bands I ever joined in Rexburg were very much like, this is what we do when we're not at like youth group or something. You know what I mean? It was just like a place to hang out. And that's valid. That's totally valid to do. I just wanted to do something more. And it was like, also, I didn't feel like I was uh,
medicating.
I was self-medicating at the time. And I was just convincing myself that being in Rexburg, I wouldn't find like-minded people.
Oh, for sure.
I was basically judging the people around me, saying, "Oh, no one likes the music I like. You know, no one would ever want to do something I want to do. I'm so, you know, so special." But it was all a lie, and it was all like a coping mechanism for not wanting to put the effort in to just go find people. Because that was the story of my life since, is just, if I need like a guitarist, I need a violinist, I need something, I need somebody.
Yeah.
Go find them. They're everywhere. Like literally get on Instagram, DM people.
Yeah.
That is how, I mean, and I'm introducing that because that is that's how the industry works. Like that's 99% of my clientele these days. Same process.
Yeah.
DM them, email them, whatever. That's it. It is not like, it's not a matter of like, I got to get to know somebody so they can introduce me to this person. It's just talk to them. Mm-hmm. That's it.
For sure.
And so anyway, that all coming back to my experience in Rexburg, that has taught me that, of like, you need somebody, if you need something to happen, you can find them and make it work. But
see, that's what I mean about you is, and I hit on it before though, if there's a way to figure it out or to do it, you do it. Like so many people make excuses. Oh, I need somebody to help me first. Or like you said, you know, make somebody make the introduction, or just do it. Like,
hey, and don't get me wrong, like it is nice to have like sometimes like intermediary.
Yeah.
You know, have someone who knows the person or whatever. Of course, that's much more personal.
Yeah.
But that's not always going to be the case. Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a missionary experience. Like I was out for like less than 6 months before I came home. And so I did, but I didn't, in that like my LDS mission, I should clarify. I did not have my eyes on being there. Right. So I was just not very interested in it, but I feel like a lot of people who do serve, you know, those missions, they gain that attribute where they are now okay with reaching out to people. Like they can knock on doors, they can talk to people. Like that, I feel should ring true to a lot of people from that space, like in Rexburg or whatever, of, I don't know, didn't you experience that on your mission? Like you can make things happen. Yeah. Like you can get stuff done.
For sure. But I think people close themselves off. So like, it's like, oh, either if you're a missionary, right? You're just, you're talking about church. So it's, well, I did it because it was for that.
Right.
And some people draw the line there and end it. But I mean, some people go on and, you know, they have professions because they're so comfortable talking with people, though, right? And they're not afraid.
Oh, that's a good point. Sorry to interrupt, but that's why I was bringing it up, is the concept of rejection.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been rejected more in my life.
Yeah.
Like this last decade.
Well, I mean, your dating apps, I mean, you're just rejected all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that, but that's the thing where getting started, there was a lot of, you know, feeling of, I got to protect my ego. I don't want to be rejected.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to look foolish and all of that. And I've just experienced time and time again, one, that feeling never fades. I'm almost constantly embarrassed. That's just like the state that I live in. But, you know, like that's what it asks from you is just to put yourself in front of people who may not want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact of life. And you just move on to the next guy.
I feel like it's where you bring Mike back into the picture. I'm just
That's when you
constantly
bring Mike.
embarrassed all the time, and I learned that from Mike.
From Mike. Yeah. Yeah.
But I honestly think you should write a book, because if there's a way to get something done, if there's a way to do it, you don't take no for an answer. You figure it out.
I'm scared of telling people things because
Why?
I don't think I know anything that is valuable outside of my own experience that also isn't already out there. Like my view on things, because I also don't have a very, what I would consider a typical, like, I guess like my goals are not very centered around having like a normal balanced life.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really have goals of like how to deal with, I guess, relationships or family life or things like that. And the reason I make that distinction is that I feel like any of the advice I might give is extremely towards single males who are trying to make a profession in music. And the sacrifices that I make, I feel are like very unreasonable for most people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not something that I think most people would latch onto and be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna live my life like that. Because I just don't have I don't know, I just don't, I feel like a very much like an outsider in that way of how I live my life and like the goals that I set. And so it's not, to me, it's not much of a self-help type thing or things that I could offer people, because I'm like, you don't want to live.
Yeah.
You don't want my life.
Well, that's the thing for any person that puts himself out there to tell people how to be successful or to help them, is that doesn't apply to everybody. They think it does, right?
Right.
And so like they're really
taken
back.
I mean, that's a whole other conversation of like success, like quote unquote, like what that means. What does that look like? Like I think a lot of people might think, oh, okay, you got to live that way so that, you make X amount of money by this age or whatever. And it's like, this is not the industry for that line of thinking. It's just not. You might have a viciously terrible financial year, and then you will also have the best financial year of your life.
Yeah.
But it is so inconsistent at like the growth stage.
Yeah.
Man, you got to hang on for dear life. Like you might, and that's the thing, it's also a numbers game too.
Yep.
I might work on a record tomorrow that changes my life for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Could happen. Has it happened yet? No. Have I worked on things that have supported me? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I'm at a level yet where I would be able to say, hey guys, listen to what I gotta say. Because I can definitely support, me. I can support myself. But I appreciate that, by the way. I appreciate that. I just am very I don't know. I don't have a lot of like, and maybe this is more of a self-reflection on me and how I view, even music, or how like music relates to a career and your life overall and your relationship to it. But I love music because it's something that I connect with whether I want to or not.
Yeah.
Like it is just something that will always be in my life. I have had periods of time, years, like half of a decade, where I don't want anything to do with it. I want nothing to do with this industry. I want nothing to do with it. Like I still have to keep going, but it's like the furthest thing that I want to participate in. And then it'll revolve back and be like, I really want to be in this. I've given my life to it, but I've realized it's not the career that matters to me. It is the music itself. So even if I gave up on everything, I know I would still be making music. I'd still be doing stuff. I would still be listening to music, making records, things like that. It's just more or less the growth strategy of that has been more like an up and down wavering, opinion of it.
Yeah.
So if you talk to me like 3 years ago, I'd probably say everybody fucking avoid it. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
If you ever dreamed about buying a microphone or like an interface or anything, just fucking buy a book. Like do something else with your life.
Yeah.
And then there's other times where I'm just like, oh man, if you got a passion for it, dude, join me, brother. Like hop on the ship. This is so awesome.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I would offer is like, it is so up and down for me.
Yeah.
That offering any sort of advice with it, I'm always just kind of like, I know I bring a lot of baggage and like I color my opinion with how, my career is doing at the moment.
For sure.
So,
but the thing is, you just explain the life of an artist up and down.
You're right.
Makes sense. And so if people get into any form of art not realizing that, probably done a little bit of homework, like you don't just get successful overnight.
Dude, and the thing is like you don't find out until you really like it fucking grabs you by the balls and is just like you don't, because you all know, right? Like that's the caricature of an artist, right?
Yeah.
Just the starving artist and like so brutal. Everyone knows that, but until you can live as an artist and like fight through that, like because a lot of people will get into it, myself included, hit a hard time where it feels like, oh, the industry's against me. I'm not getting anything going. I'm out here on my own.
Yeah.
This is my sign to quit. Right? Like that would be like a lot of people's moment to be like, I'm done. Like I'm going to go get a job. And that's valid. That's not a bad idea. But that moment, the people who fight through that realize that's not the only time you're going to fucking feel that.
Oh, for sure.
You're going to do things in your career that you feel like, oh, I'm at the mountaintop. And then the following week, you're going to feel like, shit, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is not fulfilling, and or you'll hit those bumps where like, what? Like everything's gone dry or like, what the fuck is going on with the industry? And there's always like that other thing. And we're just talking about music industry professionals in particular. Like this happens in everyone's life with anything that you're experiencing, but that up and down nature of an artist's life, it is, again, going back to our previous conversation, it's like extremely easy and most times financially beneficial to dive out sooner than later. To be like, oh man, this is tough right now. I've hit this dry spell. I'm getting a lot of clients. I'm fucking done. And that is a valid choice. It doesn't make them any less of an artist.
Yeah.
The great thing about music is that it's always there. You can come back to it. You can do whatever you want with it. Being a musician or an artist is not dictated by the money you make. But if you are trying to make it a career, something that you're supporting yourself and maybe your loved ones with, that metric matters then only in how, because that's your income. The music becomes your income. So that's the only thing that I would say is like the difference maker is when you see those hard times and you're like, yeah, I would still not do anything else other than this, even to my own detriment. Even to me living on the street, maybe it's like, this is it or nothing. And I think that reality is romantic, in some ways, where people have that vision of, the person who just makes it work.
Yeah.
Makes it work no matter what. But anybody who's worked in the industry for any amount of time, and I'm talking like local band and up, those moments of getting stiffed on your local show by like the shitty promoter.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like that over and over and over again. And you have to know how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how to rightfully stand up for yourself, get the money, understand how to get paid, how to enforce that, and really stand up for yourself when no one else will give a shit.
Yeah.
And like that is a tough thing to do because it never goes away.
Yeah.
You have to continually be in people's faces about it. And so anyway, yeah, it's nothing at this point that I would ever convince somebody to do, unless it's like going back with Randy. It's like, homie is never doing anything else
Yeah,
other than this.
for sure.
That is his life. Um, so anyway, I don't know how serious that made it sound. Because I do love it. I love it with everything. It's just when I get onto a microphone and I start pontificating about, things, it's just like I don't necessarily know if it's all that useful to people if they are, into getting into production or anything
Yeah.
like that. Um, so yeah.
Well, here's what I like. You hit on the point I'm trying to make as far as the principles that I've learned from you aren't just music production, being an artist principles. They're like how to apply that into your life.
Yeah.
Not taking no for an answer, standing up for yourself, finding a way to get things done. Like those are all things. And that's what I mean by you should write a book, because you have perseverance, you have determination. And knowing you, 10 years ago to where you're at now, and like seeing where your name's been and the things that you've done, it's really impressive, man. Like
I
it's
appreciate
really
that.
cool.
No, I really do. It's like I've had the most insane experiences of my life doing this. Like it's been like the most fun I've ever had.
Nice.
And most fulfilling things that I've ever done. And but it's those things that are very specific to me, where other people might look at it and be like, I mean, it's cool, but like if you're not in it, it's very easy to see the other side of it and be like okay, here's an experience that I think most people have is like you reach a certain age, birth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Birth, number one. Secondly, you reach an age where you maybe realize I'm not finding new music.
Okay.
Right? Like new music really isn't coming into my life, but it happens, right? Yeah. Like people kind of stagnate with their playlists or what gets recommended to them, and not to any fault of theirs, but they will then cling to what they know and what they love. Totally fair. But as time moves on, as a producer, all that happens is that you start working on music that people really have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? They have no idea how big of a moment that may be for you, other than like, hey, they might love you, they might support you, just as like whatever friend or whatever. But that realization that these things would mean a lot to me, when in reality it is so far removed from like the everyday experience, right? And I kind of look at that because I don't know if I know what it's like to like listen to music like a normal person anymore. You know what I mean?
Too analytical?
Like, yes, either analytical or just like my mind goes like a million places of what it means for this band or what stylistically they're shooting for and
that's
what
cool
influences. But that's where my mind goes. Whereas like just a casual consumer, like they're like, this is a fun song.
Yeah.
And that's all
that nice?
And that's all it has to be, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. There's this invisible wall, that I feel like I'm on the side of, where like I can't listen to music for fun anymore. Like I just don't experience it that way anymore. I don't find it like that. And so I only bring that up because like there are a lot of like crowning moments that I feel like I've experienced thus far in my career that mean a lot to me. And that's what's most important, is that I enjoyed it and they are for me.
Yeah.
Whereas the outward perspective of it, who the fuck cares about that band or whatever? You know what I mean? And it's not because they're like lame projects or anything like that. It's just there is a cutoff of appreciation for like everyday people, where it stops translating. Where like if I was this way in the 90s at the same age as like my sisters when they were getting into like Jimmy Eat World or something like that, and I came to them and be like, oh, you're never going to believe it, I just worked on Jimmy Eat World's record, it would mean a ton to them, right? They would be like, oh my God, because it's in that moment of their discovery. They're in music mode, and that's like the right time in their life to find it.
You just got to say it just takes some time.
It just takes some time. But that's exactly it. It's just as time continues and you just continue to work on more and more music,
Yeah.
you're going to work on people's album that just don't mean anything
But you
to
can still
some
say
people.
everything will be all right.
Okay.
You want me to keep going with this? I won't stop.
I would prefer it because it might make it sound more lighthearted. But does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, it's just like, I think that also like illustrates why it's so important, why you're even doing it in the first place, because it really, that feeling wears off rather quickly as far as like novelty of whatever the project is, because at a certain level, like when I used to work at, I worked at this mortgage servicing company, and we would work with, just like insanely, grossly rich people, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing like multi-million-dollar transfers all the time. And these are just extremely well-off, well-to-do people. And in their world, like these like projects are the equivalent to like as a producer, kind of the projects that I'm starting to get in on. And it doesn't feel any different than when I was doing operations management
Mm-hmm.
for for this. Like, it just, like, the level at which these projects are important
Yeah.
feel the same now.
Okay.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? I guess I'm just trying to draw that line of like the novelty that people might find in working with quote unquote big artists. Those artists are like a highlight of a specific time, and at some point the generation that truly appreciates what it means to be on that album
Yeah.
just naturally ages out,
Okay.
and it no longer is the like glamorously cool thing to be on.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing to describe. It's hard to kind of put words to it, because it is cool, but as long as it means like you have that meaning and you're not depending on what other people think about it, that's what's going to help you through those dry periods. Because if you're just hoping to get on the next whatever album for the validation of your peers, that well of validation dries up extremely quickly.
Well, again, that's another principle you can apply for anything. If you're doing
Right.
something for the validation, you're not doing it for yourself.
It's just very easy, since like music is very, from the very beginning, like if I started a band tomorrow, nowadays with like streaming metrics being so just, I know the second someone streams my song from somewhere, right? We can dial it down so fucking deep on listenership, who's listening, how many times are they listening, to the point where these numbers, whether you you have to contend with them at a certain point where it becomes a slight competition within yourself and other bands or other artists.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's just it's very difficult to explain to someone honestly, like, oh, we're not doing it for the streams. Oh, we're not doing it for the fame or the whatever. Because if you do something in the music world, or any artistic world, if you're not starving, like, people assume you're doing this to become a famous artist.
Yeah.
You're doing this so that you can gain notoriety and gain fame and gain spotlight, like, because you're an artist. You're not working in an office somewhere. You're out there to put your name out there.
Yeah.
And it just goes with the territory. And it's part of it that it's unfortunate, because it does at a certain point make it challenging to write music for yourself, because you automatically think, oh, this would be good for this band.
Yeah.
Or, oh, this would be good for this client. So, instead of for me, I might shelve that and pitch it to, so-and-so. And so it's like finding ways to write music that's fulfilling to yourself. You're always kind of combating this sense of, if this doesn't do numbers, right, it's a failure. Or if this doesn't do, whatever in, this scene, it'll be seen as a waste of time, because it has to reach a certain, some ambiguous number of streams to be worthwhile. And so that's just something that I fear, not that I fear, but that I've just dealt with myself, is just getting that mindset of those numbers really don't matter now, at all.
Yeah.
Like, they really have zero consequence if you're trying to have any sort of like career in music. This goes back to, again, showing up, playing live. I'm telling anybody who hears this, if you're a band online, now is the fucking time to get on stage. You have to. There's just too many bands, too many AI generated bands, too many bands that don't give a fuck and are just putting meme music out there, that if you're not in people's faces in public now, forget about it. Like, you're just playing with you're playing with infinity at this point.
Yeah.
So, like, it's almost the inverse now, where we've gotten so saturated online that if you're trying to make anything happen musically, get up on stage, make people know who you are personally, and that's going to put you so much far ahead. I don't care if you have 250 streams total on your songs after playing, 4 live shows. Those 250 streams are actual people who will buy your merch and will actually support you. It does not matter if you have over, like, there's this, back in like the mid 2010s, there was this kind of, if you were in a localish band, if you could get a song, above 1 million streams, that was like the unsaid kind of goal. It was like, oh, we have a song with 1 million streams. That somehow now makes everything worth it.
Yeah.
All that is, I mean, truthfully, because I mean, even casual people understand how little people make from streaming. People already know that 1 million streams isn't worth dog shit. Like, in real money, in real life, making things happen type of money, 1 million streams is not worth it for a 4 or 5 person band. So again, going back to validation, it's like, you just want that number for the validation, not because it's, anything else. You're not trying to really pursue the growth of the band. You just want to advertise and boost those numbers up, because then you just get these bands with maybe crazy streaming numbers, but aren't playing shows.
Yeah.
Or just not doing anything.
Yeah.
And, that's a generalization. Not everybody wants that. But I'm speaking just purely to the people who are like, man, I just started this band, or I'm doing my bedroom project. How do I connect with real people? How do I know my streams? Because I know they're going to be low.
Yeah.
I know they're going to be low starting out. How do I make that worthwhile? Because I'm confronted with these numbers every day. I can't get away from it. I get these Spotify fucking things. Oh, your stream just passed so many streams. Congrats. Yeah. So you're going to see this shit. Don't fucking care about it. Turn off your notifications on all those streaming apps if you can, and tell your bandmates, okay, we're going to release on whatever fucking schedule you want to release on, but you're going to go play live.
Yeah.
Just play live, play the shittiest venues, just get out there. And I promise you, that is going to do incredible amounts of goodness for your band, as far as making connections, making friends with promoters, getting on shows, getting your name out there, because people will actually interact with you.
Yeah.
So I can't even remember where the fuck this rant came from. What were we talking about?
It came from you.
Thank you.
It's just me and you in the room.
I already warned Blair before we started this that I rant like my grandmother. Like, I just find something and then immediately tangents start sprouting, and I get way off track. So, Blair, you're going to have to wrangle this into some listenable...
Let me wrangle it for a second.
Okay, wrangle it.
I do appreciate the advice for artists, because you're the one to ask that. Like, this is your world, right? And so in the digital age of AI music and people just making music, and because anybody can make music, right?
Yeah.
Right now, anybody can be a photographer, anybody can be anything, because it's just so easy to right now. Like back when you and I were growing up, if you wanted to put music on the internet, you had to work for it. You had to know people, you had to have money, you had to have backing. We can do it in a day. Like you and I can right now, which is what's in front of us. Yeah, we can just do it real quick. And so the advice is helpful. You live in that world. So if people don't know who you are, look up who Mac is. He knows what he's talking about.
And it's not like I'm some like big name. It's just I've been intimately associated with bands at multiple levels of the industry.
Yeah.
And have seen, bands go from 0 to millions to, doing maybe 150 to 200 cap rooms in 2017 to now, doing national tours. And it is just more important than ever to get up on stage and differentiate yourself from the AI artists, because they're not going to go away. And I don't have a bad word to say about anybody who wants to explore their creative side. And I've heard a lot of positive explanations of how some people with certain disabilities have utilized AI to to express themselves in certain ways. I know that it's a huge, deep conversation. I myself am very against it for numerous reasons, but that to me, the core differentiation between any of these AI bands or AI songs that get hundreds of millions of views or streams is that they will only live online.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I can already see the fucking future where like a AI band is going to make this music and then they hire out, professional musicians to go tour that stuff live.
Or they just tour the Chuck E. Cheese characters and they're just on stage.
That too.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
that's how I see it.
Literally, they could. It's not that place could not, like, the industry could definitely get behind it and put.
I wouldn't support
AI
that, though. I mean, once you get real people involved, maybe.
The thing is that it's not you and I, right? It like this goes back to like being a casual consumer versus a musician or someone in the industry. To me, it's very disgusting, and I have a visceral reaction whenever I hear or see anything about AI music.
Yeah.
I had this conversation where I feel like I'm the guy looking at the Model T in my horse and buggy.
Okay.
Because I'm just like, God, fuck. Like, I'm trying my best out here. I can barely afford my fucking horses and my carriage. And here comes this fuckhead with his Model T.
Yeah.
You already just have this like ingrained rejection of it.
Yeah.
Speaking for myself, of just like, this is how the world works to me. And I'm like at the age now where it's like I'm starting to get all crotchety about shit. So it's like the adoption of it for me, it wasn't my generation to adopt.
Yeah.
And so all I know is what I know. And the thing that I go off on is like my intuition and how it, like, for me, it's a very physical reaction. When I hear it, I get very sick. I get very anxious whenever I hear it, because I just don't understand the appeal, especially as someone, because even before I started taking music professionally, I just had a lot of respect for the creation of music.
Yeah. Not
everyone feels that way, right? Like, it's just like, I never had a valid interest in becoming like a football player. So like all the training and dedication and hard work that goes into developing the skill to become great at that, I know it takes hard work, but I just don't really understand it. So I can watch the NFL casually and just be like, oh, look at that. Not really respecting the thousands of hours of hard work and pain and dedication all of those athletes went through, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with music, where it's like the casual listener really could not give a fuck about how the music was made. If it's catchy, if they like it, it becomes not their problem. And I'm talking about like on mass scale, because, look at politics. This is where you get activists, you get third parties, you get, the people who do see the problems and care about things, that's where things start to fracture. But you have this mass amount of casual listeners who, sure, you might have a one-on-one conversation, or people read articles and be like, oh yeah, that's unethical or whatever, and they kind of get on that side. But currently there are AI generated music artists and bands and songs that have as many streams as Katy Perry currently today. And it's obvious that the main group of people who, like, just imagine you never picked up a guitar in your life or picked up an instrument or never cared to like learn about it, create music. And now you have this thing on your phone that you can just turn on and listen to great music.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds well produced. This sounds really clean. Sounds great. It was made just for me. Thank God, right? Like, they don't care. Like, it's not a moral quandary to them. I viciously stand against it. I hate it, the passion, but that's because I live in that world and I come from a time where it was like it's, you and I, Blair, lived through this time of like the garage band that started to learn how to become accessible to the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Utilizing technology, utilizing social media, utilizing everything, to somehow get our music out out of our town, that people can listen to us. And we are so far beyond that now.
Yeah.
That none of that, hard work and strife and, pain to learn the process, how to record yourself, how to do any of this stuff matters at all anymore. It's a very, very unique situation to be in where, you and I are we're barely approaching middle age, and the new generation is so far beyond everything I ever experienced as a music producer.
Definitely.
So yeah, God damn it. Just everybody pick up a guitar, pick up something. You don't have to make a career out of it. You don't have to play a show if you don't want to, but just learn an instrument, because I do think it'll open like a perspective in how music is created, how it's made, and that might give you an appreciation for, why when you hear an AI generated song, you're like, well, damn, it is hard to learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
And they just generated that. Like, there's like a whole art form behind this. Like, it just seems cheap.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm in full support of anybody who wants to pick up an instrument, just even for a few months, just so you can kind of understand why there are some musicians or producers or people in the industry who do look at you sideways if the top streaming song on your app is AI generated. So
again, another good principle to learn from you. Like you said, you want to appreciate music, become a musician, you want to appreciate NFL, go practice with those guys. People look down on mechanics, right? Go try working on your car for a minute. Right. You'll see why they charge what they charge, right? So again, more good advice from Mac.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question that requires a lot of eye contact?
Sure.
Are we friends?
Yeah.
Do you want to hang out again?
Yeah.
Because we haven't gotten to like a single question, and we're at 1 hour and 33 minutes.
I know. I knew this was going to fucking happen because I can't stop talking.
So you want to do it again sometime? Want to be friends?
Yeah.
We'll play again?
Yeah.
So I'll have my mom call your mom.
Okay.
And see when she can drop you off, and we can do this again.
Okay. Sounds good.
So in 27 seconds or less, leave us with some parting words. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21.
Silence is the foundation on which creativity is built upon, and thus deserves its due respect.
You still have some seconds left to keep going.
Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said?
What? You say something?
It was profound. If anyone got that reference, you were immediately friends. So